Welcome back. Vendors in the city are pleading with youth engaged in theft and other criminal activities to walk away from a life of crime. They say the impact of crime on their livelihoods has been detrimental. Nisha Charles reports.
The recent homicide in the community of Marsha has sparked debate on how far the reach of crime extends. While residents fear for their lives, city vendors are also fearful, not only for themselves but for the tourists who frequent their businesses. With 4 cruise vessels in port on Friday, city vendors are convinced that the lack of business is a direct response to the spike in crime.
So on Thursday, they robbed the tourist of her chain. And they have done that on many occasions, even in the craft market itself, that they take some tourist phones from them. You know, it affects our industry. Even today, we have 4 cruise ships and not one. We barely see the customers. So we have just been sitting looking at each other. The place is empty. We know for sure that they are telling the people that do not come to or do not get out of the cruise ships in St. Lucia because we have a lot of thieves in St. Lucia. I believe it is time that our young guys stop that and find work to do. And also the police officers, I know that they cannot be everywhere, but you know, they can be out sometimes, especially where the tourists are being walking.
The vendors are calling for an increase in police patrol, designated officers for high-risk areas, and a crackdown on the criminal elements in society.
Eventually that will bring down the business because that's the only income we have so far coming in the country. Now when they're robbing them, eventually the companies like Cox, Slasper, sometimes they don't tell them anything on the boat, but they would come down from the boat and say, well, they warn them to go certain places. But don't mind them, they still go where they tell them to go. But then again, in relation, I find it's very bad. They have to put things in place for that. Put in stiffer penalty, getting more police on the streets, because all now so there's 4 cruise ships and I'm not even seeing anybody on the streets. So who's watching who? Who's guarding who?
The Royal St. Lucia Police Force said it would be changing its strategy to tackle crime this holiday season. For the Hot 7 News, Nisha Charles reporting.
Thank you, Nisha. With 3 reported incidents of drowning over the Christmas holidays, the importance of swimming as a life skill has been thrust into the spotlight. Hot 7 News caught up with a crew member of the popular boating operation Hackshaw Boats who offered valuable advice to safeguard against accidental drowning. Solange Alfred tells us more.
The glimmering water of the sea is what attracts many visitors to the Caribbean islands. However, just as the water is beautiful, it is equally deadly to individuals who do not possess the life skill of swimming. With St. Lucia recording 3 drowning incidents on 3 separate beaches around the island, Hot 7 News reached out to an individual who makes a living navigating St. Lucia waterways. Leonas Pelage of Hackshaw Boats believes that the skill of swimming should be of utmost importance to all St. Lucians.
I think it's very important that people learn how to swim, because you may never know where you might end up when it comes to water, especially with your family taking you to the beach. And then you may not want to go very deep, but the fact that you're close to the beach, you know, with the waves rushing ashore, it may just turn you over and then there it goes. Okay, even when you're out on a boat, you know, you never know, you could be walking on the side. You're a very brave person when it comes to boat, but then you could just slip suddenly and fall in. Now, the crew members on board may have to go with the procedures of throwing over a life ring to you before they could actually jump in the water, and then you might end up drowning before the life ring reaches to you, because the crew members has to think of their safety as first. Okay, so I think it's very important. The little that you could do when it comes to swimming is very important. It could save your life, and you could also teach somebody else and could save a lot of lives.
The benefits of swimming are endless, and the skill remains with an individual for the rest of his or her life. With St. Lucia being surrounded by water, Pelage believes that this crucial skill should be taught to individuals at the earliest stage of their development.
I think that swimming should be taught to children from kindergarten, because anything is possible out there, you know, even with playing in a tub of water from the back of your house, you know, as small as the children may be, you know, they could just happen to tip over into the tub, and then it may be it may lead to something else with concerning drowning. So I think it's very important that the little thing that you could do when it comes to swimming, you should.
With an increase in entertainment taking place on boats, beaches and river banks, the ability to swim is becoming one that is greatly needed, not just to save one's self, but also to assist in saving someone who can't swim. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solaj Alfred.
A concerned citizen has a recommendation for the Ministry of Transport and the Ministry of National Security to address the traffic nightmare that becomes a reality after every minor accident along the highway. Nothing brings the flow of traffic to a more dramatic crawl than your average fender bender along the highway. The situation is vexing for many commuters who get delayed in what is already a traffic nightmare from the north to Castries or vice versa. The chairman of the Organization for National Empowerment, Peter Alexander, is one such commuter. He has had it with the frequent traffic inconveniences due to minor accidents and says it's time to address the matter.
This to me is absolutely ridiculous. You cannot inconvenience 5,000 or 10,000 people over a 2-hour period to try to resolve a minor, what you call a fender bender, like somebody just runs into your back bumper or a little scrape on your vehicle. Up to this morning, I left home at about 11 o'clock and from Bonte, and look at where I am by Sagicor in over an hour because of a fender bumper.
Alexander is putting forward a recommendation to both the Ministry of Transport and the Ministry of National Security. He says it's a matter of having the foresight and willpower to simplify the process. Waiting for police to get to the scene of a minor accident, he says, is unnecessary.
We need to think outside the box. I don't know how many countries have implemented it, but there is now the spray can. So probably, government can legislate and say, okay, here's what every vehicle is supposed to carry. A specific type of spray, the one that doesn't wash away. And if there's a minor accident, then what we can do is mark out the tires, put the vehicle number where it was facing, and also we have cameras. Everybody has a telephone camera, a camera in the telephone, so they can take pictures, and the vehicles can be moved on the side. You report the accident, and the police can come back and reconstruct the scene of the accident. That's a pretty simple way of dealing with it.
Addressing the level of traffic congestion in the north had been highlighted as a priority by the former SLP government, which indicated its intention to follow through with the proposed 4-lane highway from the north to Castries, which formed part of the 4-quadrant vision plan for St. Lucia. That project was not followed through with by the current UWP government. Prime Minister Alan Chastney has indicated that the priority is the overall road infrastructure and not a multi-million-dollar 4-lane highway in the north. Opposition leader Philip J. Pierre has issued a clarion call for people to step up and be each other's keeper. Reflecting on the past year and looking forward to the upcoming new year, he highlighted the need for a greater show of love and support to those in need. He also lamented that the government had not throughout the year of 2018 encouraged more inclusion.
We must strive to make St. Lucia a better place. There are many citizens in St. Lucia in need of much care and attention. The sick, the homeless, the unemployed, the abused, and those who are near giving up because there appears to be no end to the pain and suffering they have been made to endure. We must reach out to help them during this time of goodwill. Last year, in my Christmas message, I called on the government for greater engagement of the gifts and talents of all our people for the common good. But this message has fallen on deaf ears. I repeat the call for more inclusive and tolerant society.
The long-serving Member of Parliament also expressed gratitude to his constituents for their continued support. He promised to serve them with even greater zeal in the new year.
It is my wish that we find the courage to fight for the preservation and strengthening of our institutions so that we may have more productive and fulfilling lives. 2019 will be a challenging year, but we must remain steadfast in our desire for a better St. Lucia, where our citizens, particularly the poor and underprivileged, will be able to experience a better quality of life.
The MP encourages St. Lucians to not lose hope in their country and to embrace their ability to make a difference. This is the Hot 7 Nightly News. Do stay with us. More news after the break.